Okay. How is everyone doing? Most of you would be very angry at me because I think there was a mess up at our end and you were informed a little late about today's session. But I'm glad and delighted that most of you could join in. Is everything all right with all of you? So today is a special day. Who can take a guess? What's so special about today? Today we begin officially with something new. Our journey as Azad parliamentarians. But my question to all of you would be, what is a parliament? Who will tell me? And of course, there will be a lot of cold calling. So please don't be scared and please make all the mistakes here with me. Don't be shy. Ankur, thoughts and a brief introduction about yourself?
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir. Hello, everyone. My name is Ankur Dalal. I am from Haryana. And I mean, for my introduction, I believe for now this is enough. And what is a parliamentarian? What is a parliamentary? If I have to define it, I don't know, sir. I don't know.
Okay.
How would I define it? I don't know.
That's totally fine. Anyone who can tell me what is a parliament? It could be your definition. In fact, let me make it easier for you. Don't define parliament. When you hear this word parliament, what comes to your mind first? Now, that's an easy question. Subjective answer. You all can have different kinds of responses. So, yeah, go on. Sudhir, when you hear the word parliament, what comes to your mind?
Lok Sabha, Raj Sabha.
Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. Back in the days, I think UPSC asked a question. Parliament consists of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, President. President is also, I think, part of it, no? That's how the legislations become the act. It's a very interesting question. When you hear the word parliament, what comes to your mind? Vipul.
Hello, good afternoon, sir. So, first time I heard the term parliament, um, it's a imagination a room where the people are discussing and making policies and laws for the country.
Okay. Don't give me those standard textbook definitions. Be honest, be raw. And honestly tell me what comes to your mind first. Rohini?
I think Parliament is the place where the fate of country is decided,
Fate of
where
a
our
country is
fate
decided.
people's.
Okay. Very interesting. Lavisha?
So when I think of the parliament, I feel it's a kind of debate wherein people will try to prove their side of argument as true as possible to an extent. Whether it's wrong or right doesn't matter, and they will not listen the other person. But I mean, it's always an argumentation going on, people fighting.
There are procedures, there
I
are
mean, they're
rules.
not, yeah, like that.
Okay. See, I'll be honest, like I told you, and I requested you all to be honest. I will also be honest. When I asked this question to myself, for some reason, this Central Vista project came to my mind. Hey, you've heard of this Central Vista project? I think it's officially called as the new Parliament building or something. Is there anyone who has not heard of it? for this new parliament building. Do you know how much did it cost? Take a guess. Joe, take a guess.
Hello, sir. I mean, I really don't know, but rough estimate.
Come
10,000
on.
crores.
We have a parliament, a new parliament in our country. Yeah, I could hear you, Joe. 10,000 crores. That's the number. That's what Joe is mentioning. But again, think about it. It's 20,000 crores. The question is, whose money is that? Nirmalaji's money? Jayashankarji's money? No. That money came from our sweat. 20,000 crores. That's what? Roughly $2.5 billion. It came from the sweat of a poor republic. Those 20,000 crores came from the endless GSTs. Short-term capital gains tax, long-term capital gains tax, toll taxes, abysmally high petrol prices, 20% of which is blended with ethanol. $2.4 billion, $2.5 billion. It's coming from our sweat. We should at least know. Those 20,000 crores were paid for by 80 crore Indians who survive on free ration. You may think, we don't pay income tax. Come on. There is a huge component of indirect taxes in our country. Over 100 lakh crores, were shamelessly looted out of Indians through GST in just 8 years. GST is an indirect tax. Small shops were obliterated, MSMEs collapsed, millions of jobs vanished. We shamelessly taxed pencils, notebooks, school bags for almost 10 years. 20,000 crores came from this country. A country where babies are burnt alive in Jhansi in an ICU and still no one cares. You've forgotten. Anyone from Bihar? Manu, which part of Bihar are you from?
हाँ सर, मेरा नाम मनु कुमार है। मैं बिहार राज्य के गया जिले से हूँ।
Gaya.
जी सर।
Do you know what is the infant mortality in Bihar?
सॉरी सर।
Infant mortality. 47 deaths per 1,000 birth. Today, some may think infant mortality, how does it matter? What is it? Some may say it's a health statistics. I tend to disagree with that. Infant mortality, it is not just a health statistic, okay? It is the clearest mortal test of society's compassion. Think about it. A nation that lets its infant die from preventable causes. It is a nation that has failed in its moral duty to protect life. I used the word preventable causes. Anyone knows what is this preventable? Those infants, they died. Those babies, they did not die because of destiny. Those babies died because of neglect. It was all preventable. They died not because God wanted them to die. They died because government failed them. Those infants. They died because hospital did not have the oxygen. They died because ambulance had got stuck in traffic. Why? So that our ministers and their convoys could pass in time. They died because doctor was absent. They died because of malnutrition. They died because of infections, all preventable. It is a fact. Infant mortality in Bihar. That's the number. Niti Aayog chairman, he shamelessly announced India overtook Japan. Do you feel that? Mannu, do you feel that in Gaya? Gaya is better than Tokyo.
क्या सर?
My question is that Niti Aayog chairman, he announced that India overtook Japan. My question is, do you feel that in Gaya?
No, sir.
What will I do of it? If infant mortality in Bihar is 47 deaths per 1,000 birth, Bangladesh has 24, Nepal has 25, Rwanda has 27. There's a war happening in Sudan. Bihar's number are comparable or even worse than Sudan. 20,000 crores of our money was put into the launch of a new parliament building. And today, I think none of us knew that. There was one guess, 10,000 crores. That money could have funded what, 20 new IITs. 20,000 crores, that money, that's the money that you need to build digital library in every village in India. And do you know what's more shameful? Look at the timeline when it was built. It was 20,000 crores. That money was spent during the pandemic year. It was when India was struggling for oxygen cylinders, hospital beds. Now, is there anyone who is here, arguing? No, that project was needed. That old parliament building was too small. It was outdated. It was colonial. New India needs a new parliament. Anyone? It's okay. We'll engage. Because these were the arguments given. By that logic, Rashtrapati Bhavan is also colonial. Dismantle it. IAS, IPS, IFS, colonial. Dismantle it. Dismantle the colonial law of sedition. That building, it survived the original one, survived the partition, it survived wars, survived emergency. It held inside it the debates that gave birth to India's democracy. If anything else, this building was historic, the original one. You cannot build a stronger democracy by building bigger walls around your lawmakers. You prove your democracy by building stronger lives around your citizens. If a government, it can provide, no. If a government, if it cannot provide oxygen to its people, it has absolutely no moral right to build domes of granite for itself. It has absolutely no moral right to order BMWs from Germany for itself. It has absolutely no moral right to order air purifiers for Delhi Secretariat for itself. But all of that is happening right in front of our eyes. If a republic, it cannot guarantee safety to our babies, it has absolutely no ethical basis to spend billions on chandeliers or carpets. Do you know California, it invests $25 billion a year in higher education, in R&D, and R&D also. $25 billion a year in higher education and R&D, California. Take a guess. What's the number for India? The entire country of India, with 10 times the people, does not spend even half of that. In just last 10 years alone, over 25,000 government schools in Madhya Pradesh, they have been merged, closed, or downgraded under something called as rationalization policy. Rationalization policy. Anyone heard of it? What is it? Are you aware? 25,000 schools in Madhya Pradesh merged, closed, or downgraded under this policy. If a school has fewer than 15 students, it's considered inefficient. Close it or merged it. But no one asks this very simple question: why it has only 15 students? What's the reason? Why students and children, why did they stop coming? Because when you shut down Anganwadis, when midday meals are delayed, when there are no toilets, when teachers are missing, it's wrong to say children dropped out. They were pushed out of it. And this is not just Madhya Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh also. More than half a lakh, no, in fact 1.5 lakh teaching posts in UP, vacant in government schools. According to UP's own database, over 12,000 government schools in UP have only one teacher. One teacher to teach all subjects. Mathematics, science, social studies. Do you know when a child in a government school, when it fails to read, do you know what they call it? Poor learning outcome. Have you heard of this term? Poor learning outcome? Anyone heard of it? When a child in a government school fails to read, they call it poor learning outcome. But do you think that's the correct definition? Don't you think it should be poor governing outcome? $20,000 crores to build a new parliament. Do we really need new parliament of marble anymore? We need a new parliament of minds. That's why we are here. So to come back to the initial question, what does a parliament mean? It's a French word. It comes from a French word. It simply means to speak. So all the introverts, please listen. Got to speak also. Of course, in Azad Parliament, we will discuss innumerable issues, from India's soft power to environment to nuclear science. Every masterclass, it will be a new parliamentary session. My request from each one of you would be to engage. A parliament is not meant to be a monument. It's meant to be a conversation. So please have your cameras on also. It is a place where representatives, they come together to discuss, debate, decide what matters. That is the soul of democracy. Debate, disagree, but have a dialogue. But somewhere along the way, don't you think our parliament forgot how to speak? Thoughts, anyone, up until now? How many of you know Sunny Deol? I think his father was also a member of parliament. His mother was also, no, not the, they call it. But yeah, how many of you have heard of Sunny Deol? Ultra nationalist, ultra patriotic. He was a member of parliament. Do you know how many parliamentary sessions he attended? Do your research. Do you know how many times he visited his constituency? Anyone from Gurdaspur? Yash? You're from Gurdaspur? I think you're from Gujarat. Do your research. You don't know, we don't care. During his term, Sunny Deol ji, he just asked one question. He did not participate in any parliamentary debate. He did not introduce any private member bill. One of my videos went viral many few years ago. Someone then asked him a question. What's the reason for your low attendance? What's the reason? What is the reason why you have never visited your constituency? Do you know what he responded? He said that politics, it is not my world. That's it. Then, as citizens of this country, shouldn't we ask this question? Why the hell were you receiving 2 lakh rupees as a salary every month? Why were you taking those VIP passes for your first class train tickets? What makes you qualified for a lifelong pension on our money? And if you think he's alone, no, there are many like him. Ashok Chavan, he looted Kargil war heroes in the Adarsh scam. Today he's a sitting Rajya Sabha MP. Ram Dular Gond, MLA, convicted of raping a 15-year-old child. Convicted, not accused. That does not feel like parliament anymore. Someone mentioned in the beginning that's the place where destiny is written for a country. Sunny Deol, Ram Dular Gond, Ashok Chavan, is this how courageous people look like? Parliament is meant to reflect the conscience of a nation. But that is not happening today. Today, the parliament represents the convenience of those in power. Why is that? What could be the reason? Also, Anandita, can you please look at the Zoom and ensure that everyone who's eligible to attend the meeting is part of the meeting? Time to cold call. Or if anyone has points to add, kindly go ahead. Like I said, speak, disagree. Azad Parliament. Gangotri, what do you think could be the reason? Okay, Ananya is raising her hand, so I'll check with Ananya. Go on, Ananya.
According to me, one of the reasons is the very act of squeezing the platform of questioning the limited people who are.
Okay, let me give you one friendly advice to all those, because I've been through a very interesting journey. If you are thinking of criticizing the government on social media, that I have done, make sure you take all your money out of your bank accounts. It's very easy today in India to get your accounts frozen. I've seen that firsthand. As of now. Of course, hopefully things will change, but right now it's very, very, very easy. ICICI, HDFC, immediately they freeze your accounts. In a minute, you have no recourse. You have to hire a lawyer, you've got to deal with a few officials, and it is a time consuming process. I've seen that happen with me. Of course, some of you will be operating on a smaller scale, but once you reach a decent scale, you will see all this happening. So be ready for it. So what is this? This is one headline that everyone should read. Just look at this. Anyone read this? It's premium. It's sad that, it's again gated. You can't read the entire thing. Today it was us. Tomorrow it can be any other innocent person. Delhi couple whose accounts were frozen by ED in mistaken identity case. Anyone heard of this? Shiva, have you heard of this story? Ever stumbled upon this?
No, sir.
Just a few years ago, there was this very hardworking Delhi couple. They were running this small garment shop. ICICI bank accounts were frozen. There was absolutely no court order, no notice, nothing. It's a small business that they were running, accounts frozen. Now just imagine, how can they pay rent? How can they pay their staff? How can they feed kids? Entire life up for a toss. And it is totally fine if there were some glaring mistakes. But in this case, Enforcement Directorate officials, they could not read properly. I'm not making this up. ED officials, they admitted in the court, it was a case of mistaken identity. And it took them 3 years to admit that. Just imagine the mental trauma those couple would have gone through. Ease of doing business in India. And no fault of theirs. And this is just one off case that came to light. Just imagine how many lives have been ruined by these goons. A senior ED official joining Ambaniji's company after raiding a few politicians from the opposition party. We've all forgotten. Today, Income Tax Department wants to know where we eat, where we shop, where we travel. They want to access our phones. They want to access your emails, your password, your WhatsApp. Why do you need all this? Do you know? IT wants to know all this. In fact, our Honorable Finance Minister, she was celebrating this fact on the house of, in the Parliament, on the floor of the Parliament. She was celebrating this. I think I've shown this video. I think this is a video from my YouTube only. Just see this. If you don't believe me, these are her words in Parliament.
I go to the court again saying, but the law doesn't allow me to look at WhatsApp messages. So in the case of Google Map history, sir, found on the phone was used to determine the frequented locations of individuals who enabled location history.
What is happening? In fact, Lok Sabha passed 2 tax bills without any debate. This is one, and I'm still astounded. If you don't believe that our privacy is up for a toss, let's see this tweet by a sitting member of Parliament. This Parliament has the gall to not even delete this tweet. It's still right out there. It's not a screenshot. It's a tweet live. Look at this. It's still out there. Nishikant Dubey. Fourth member of Parliament, Kodda constituency, Jharkhand. Bharat. His son is not in India, by the way. Of course, this comment can have a lot of likes, but nothing will happen to him. Absolutely nothing. Any thoughts on this, Ankur?
I have a question, sir.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm the government, I'm part of the government, I'm the head of the government. I'm a king, basically, or I'm a king.
What makes you a king?
Now, sorry?
Why are you a king if you're a part of the government?
No, I'm a ruler. King is not the right word.
Why are
I'm
you
a
a
ruler.
ruler?
I shouldn't be, but from all the facts which we have right now seen, it seems like it. That people in government, they can do whatever they wish.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm in the government. And why should the responsibility of doing the right things, I mean, by right things, I mean being careful with spending the money, fall on me? Yes, I am elected by the people, but as soon as I start spending that money, or as soon as I start taking any actions, and I see myself that whenever my actions are lacking the quality they should have, and no one ever raises a voice, or if someone raises a voice, I'm able to shut them down, then won't this thing what we are watching right now, it will happen automatically?
Hold on. Good question. I'll come to it. But I think there is a little confusion. Number one, if you're part of the government, you're not elected by the people. It's legislature, the executive, various elements to it. And not everything is so black and white. Things operate in shades of gray. And we will understand that, how it operates. But for now, I just want you to get the theme of what's happening with all proofs, with all data. So what you just saw, I want your thoughts on that. Nishikant Dubey. He is doing something which Ankur also is highlighting. If it was Ankur, perhaps he could not have been able to do it. Today, if I do something, if I make a video on Nitin Gadkari ji's son, my bank accounts get frozen. But for Nishikant Dubey, nothing will happen. That's the definition of a banana republic. Why? Because the first thing in a banana republic is there is death of institutions. Institutions, like watchdog of merit in India is UPSC. But today you're looking at various camps happening in UPSC. Watchdog. That's an important word. Watchdog for your right to vote is Election Commission of India. What's happening with it? Turning into lapdogs, not even watchdogs. Today in our country, Prime Minister's degree, it's a private matter, no? Delhi University has spent crores fighting a case to not show his degree. In which kind of a country this happens? That's how your money is being spent. But here, when it came to a journalist questioning the government, his confidential income tax returns, they are tweeted out by a sitting member of parliament in full public view. Do you think something like this will happen in Germany or Japan? Tax files, bank accounts, your Aadhaar, it's all being weaponized against you. Of course, some of you will go on to build the momentum that I'm trying to build, and I would be happy to provide you all the legal assistance going forward, because I've seen through how hard this entire battle is. My accounts can freeze, my ED could freeze, could raid, could be jailed. I don't care. But that's my persona. That's not the case with billions of other Indians. They are not as insane as I am. Let me tell you one thing, one very hard truth in life. It absolutely does not matter where you go, which part of the world you go in. Netherlands, Germany, Japan, UAE. Half the India today is becoming NRI, right? Going to UAE, Dubai. Just ask yourself, how many Indians in Dubai, they were granted UAE passport? You will be shocked, there is none. It's not that easy anymore to change your citizenships. Tomorrow you can build your life in Dubai, but one buffoon in Indian Parliament can change all of that overnight. This is already happening in countries like Bangladesh, Sudan. UAE stopped granting them visas. Ankur, Mannu, Pradeep, Kalyani, we cannot buy passports like Adaniji's brother or Hiranandaniji or Jaishankarji's son. We do not have that leverage. We do not have the leverage like NSA's son. NSA's son is a UK citizen, no? Sure. Our past, our present, our future, it hinges with India's growth story. So it is in our benefit that our country succeeds, our country grows, our country thrives. I don't know about Jaishankarji. I do not know about all the other government officers, because the kids are not even Indian citizens. Devyani Khobragarde's daughters are American citizens. She's a diplomat, Indian High Commissioner. What's their credibility? They have no skin in the game. If tomorrow something happens in India, they will be the first one to run away. They have their bank accounts abroad. They have their families abroad. They also have multiple citizenships. This is something similar, what happened in Bangladesh also. Sheikh Hasina's son was not a Bangladeshi citizen. Sheikh Hasina's sister, not a Bangladeshi citizen. China in 1979 was poorer than India. Can we believe that? The per capita GDP was actually lower than ours. 1 year later, the premier set up a fishing village called Shenzhen as an experiment. Anyone heard of Shenzhen? Back in the 1980s, Shenzhen had only 30,000 people. Modi went there multiple times when he was the chief minister of Gujarat for his study tour. Shenzhen had only 30,000 people in the 1980s. Farmers, fishermen, dirt roads, nothing else. Today, Shenzhen has 17 million people. It's called the Silicon Valley of hardware. Every phone, this phone, your phone, Apple, Samsung, Xiaomi, it will have parts from Shenzhen. Not from Gaya or Begusarai. GDP of Shenzhen today is bigger than the entire GDP of India in 1991, where it was the case. I think but a few months ago, I did a masterclass on YouTube. Someone asked me this question, what can one person do? How can one person alone change the system? Anyone who thinks like that? What can I do? I should just survive, pay my taxes, and live my life. That's also not easy. People pay taxes and still die in stampedes. People pay taxes and their babies also get burnt in Jhansi. People pay taxes and their accounts get frozen. They can't even pay taxes. And then they pay penalties on taxes. Thoughts, anyone, up until now? Are you? This is serious. This is extremely serious what we're discussing today. And everything is factual. You can backtrace it, check it. I'm recording it. Shiva, where are you from?
Yes, sir. I'm from Hyderabad. So you made an interesting point just a minutes back that Shenzhen has more GDP than the entire nation. So comparing
Compared with
India,
1981, to be factually correct. Yeah.
yeah,
tiny
even,
village.
even now or even then, is India and China comparable with respect to how they work? Because there they have the absolute power, and we don't have it. We have a lot of freedom. We have NGOs who come up and maybe stop everything. They don't want development where environment is getting destroyed. Whereas that may not be the case in China because they have that absolute power to do anything they want.
Okay. Anyone, any thoughts on this? I think it's a very good question, Shiva. I'm so glad someone asked this. Any response to Shiva? Anyone? Rahul?
Thank you, Naman sir. And as soon as this question popped up, I do remember your previous master classes where you told like just taking the example of air pollution. That was about the last master class. So there, even like China, it was worse far off than what India was a few years back. Right now, it's a different story. So they made a lot of changes. I could see a few shorts as well on YouTube recently that they had to wash their tires and their trucks. They all were covered up, and it was done just so that the cities they could be smoke free and dust free. And
But
they
Shiva's question
even
is,
had.
I understand, but Shiva's question is,
Mhm.
China has authority. China has an element of dictatorship. But in India, we have freedom. So how can we compare ourselves with China? That could be a wrong comparison. Shiva, is that the question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I want a response to that. Tushant?
Good evening, sir. So to the response, I would say that we fought so long for this freedom, and certainly we cannot negotiate with this freedom. Freedom is the most important principle, the most important ideal every nation is trying to achieve. So we cannot negotiate with freedom. We cannot
Again, I think
compromise
that
with that.
question hasn't been addressed, but okay, got it. I tend to think we do not have freedom. We have excuses. I can give you details to why we do not have freedom. People can't even speak their mind. But we have excuses. We cannot compare ourselves with China. Why? Because China has a different political structure. India has a different one. We cannot compare with Finland because we have a lot of population. We should not compare ourselves with US because our democracy is very new. These are excuses. Every argument will have such excuses. We should just pay taxes, live like cockroaches, and die like cockroaches. That should be our fate. Today, Delhi, people cannot breathe. What development? 17 lakh trees were cut in Hasdeo for Adani's coal mines. 40% mangroves were wiped out in Mumbai for land grab. What freedom? We can't freely breathe the air in Delhi. People care about food on their plate, decent lifestyle, a life where they have security of job, liberty, property. I spoke about Saujanya, I think, many days ago. You know her story? Saujanya's story? Anyone knows about her? Yes, Abhilash.
Sojan was a schoolgirl, was raped and murdered in Dakshinakannada district of Kannada. So there was a lot of political protection given to the culprits, and that's what the media, the YouTubers found out the truth, and they are reporting. But from a long time, the police has been hiding the truth, and the whole system is working against hiding the truth.
Yeah. 13 years ago, Saujanya was raped and murdered. Police purposefully botched up the case. Police ignored CCTV footages, tampered with medical evidences, medical reports. Fake evidences were created. Not just that, wrongfully they framed an innocent man on a rape case. One of the YouTubers talked about it. What did the police do in Karnataka? Congress government filed a case against the YouTuber. I also received the case. Not a case, but a legal notice. So we have excuses. We don't have the freedom to breathe fresh air. We do not have security of life, liberty, property. We don't have safety nets. And that's perhaps the reason why we are so low in the happiness index ranking. Because to be genuinely happy, you need safety nets, some comfort. We don't have safety of jobs. We don't have safety of where our next money is coming from. At the same time, we have politicians with multiple hedges, multiple bank accounts, multiple geographies. So I think we need to come beyond these excuses that we can't compare ourselves to China because of this, to Singapore not because of this, to Finland no, to US no. We can't compare ourselves to Vietnam. And look at the situation today. A single city in Thailand is able to attract twice the number of tourists that entire country cannot entertain. Dubai, Singapore, same story. Singapore, size of Gurgaon. Look at number of tourists then. Why can't we compare it? Do a reverse comparison. Such a mythical, such a majestic place India is. And we can attract tourists. We have history, we have civilization, we have geography. Today, China is wheezing out, is working on further strengthening their passport, if you know. We'll discuss that case later on how they're doing it. But here we are, harassing a Nepali girl because she took a stopover flight from Delhi. Ananya?
Yeah, I just wanted to share something, if I may take like a minute for that.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I went for a book launch event. It was an ORF event. I went out of curiosity, just as an experiment. It was a book launch event of the former RNAW chief Vikram Sood. The book was The Great Power Games. And basically the panel included people like Smriti Irani, Sanjeev Sanyal, and one other person, I forgot the name, and Mr. Vikram Sood. Someone asked a question regarding narratives, and I got really like curious in that way. I'm pretty excited actually that how would they respond to that. And there was Mr. Padda from I think he's an MP. I'm not very sure about that personality, but he basically said,
Mr.?
who's the vice president? Again, I'm forgetting the name, but he's the vice president of BJP, I think.
There are multiple VPs, but okay.
Yeah. So he basically used this example of the entire thing about Rahul Gandhi accusing the election commissioner about the vote chori, quote unquote, the vote chori scam. So he basically talked about that, there is an entire procedure. If you have certain complaints, if you have certain accusations, there's a certain process you go through, filing a complaint. And he was just talking about the process. And then towards the end of his conversation, he mentioned that, but no, I think the purpose is forming a narrative, and he thinks that he's successful in that, but he isn't. So he just ended with flipping the story and using narrative formation not as a responsibility or not as a sense of accountability, but rather as a justification to what is actually happening. So again, I'm not sure how relevant this is in this conversation, but I felt like sharing that right now. So using a term like narrative formation is extremely important, but in what case and in what ways did stun me yesterday.
So you should ask, if you were in an ORF event, you should have asked, who has funded ORF. So whosoever is funding ORF will fund the narrative. Then they would have answered, Ambani ji has funded us. There are reports, there are clear-cut documents. And then you will ask, that's why perhaps the reason why you have all government ministers, spokesperson from the government propagating that narrative. Just follow the money, you will get the answer. Samir Saran has unfettered access to all diplomats across the world, Indian diplomats. Why? This happened for one reason. Because Dhruv Jaishankar joined ORF a few years ago. Dhruv Jaishankar is the son of External Affairs Minister. He's heading America's operations for ORF. Funding doubled, access doubled, reach doubled. Why follow narrative? Ask a simple thing. We want decent salaries, we want decent jobs. Sohran Mamdani, 10 months ago, no one knew who he was. Today he's a movement. Why? He fought on real issues. He did not fight on Hindu-Muslim. He did not fight to change New York to Nevadia. He united people on real matters. Housing crisis, jobs, rent, education reforms, taxation. He showed that real democracy, it's not about father's last name. He showed that real democracy, it's about people. Let me say this clearly today, and Shiva, if you think you're free, I'll further clarify this. Today, we are not a democracy anymore. India is a family-run oligarchy. Just see who is fighting elections in Bihar, who is competing. Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, Tejasvi Yadav, Jay Shah, Jyotiraj Scindia, Chirag Paswan. Same surname, same stories. Why? Mahan Aryaman Scindia, you know? Do you know who is he? Mahan Aryaman Scindia. That's a wonderful name. 20-something kid. He is now heading MP Cricket Association. He has never represented India at any level in cricket. So why is he the head of MP Cricket Association? Because his father is a cabinet minister, Jyotiraj Scindia. Jyotiraj Scindia's father was also a cabinet minister, Madhav Rao Scindia. Jyotiraj Scindia's aunt was a chief minister, Vasundhara Raje Scindia. What is this? And we think we are free, democratic. Why is it that only Rahul Gandhi can lead Congress? Why not Shashi Tharoor? Why is it that Akhilesh Yadav is forever CM face of UP? The reason is simple. We are falsely made to believe that we are a democracy. In reality, we are a family-run oligarchy. 5 to 10 families, they own country. Because they have the money, they control the media, they have the machinery. And that is why it does not matter whether it's left or right. Our kids will get butchered in riots. Our kids will get burnt alive in hospital. It happened in Jhansi. Bridges will collapse. Our students will be lathi charged in Karnataka, be it Congress power or whatever, UP and MP. NGOs make a mess. NGOs make a mess. What mess? It's a shame that Sonam Wangchu is in jail. Ashram Bapu is out, by the way. No? Our jungles are being sold to a few billionaires. And we can't breathe. That's a fact. My question is, what if politics did not belong to them? It belonged to us. Zoran Mamdani showed us. If you fight on real issues, perhaps things can change. One thing I love about Zoran Mamdani is that he showed that real democracy, it's not about father's last name. It's about people in the end. India's future will not be written by Rahul Gandhi ji, or Jai Shah, or Scindia, or Huddas. It has to be written in villages, in mohallas, in colleges, on streets. Someone used the word ruler. No, we are representatives. People say we are losing our democracy, it's becoming dictatorship. That's also wrong. We are losing our democracies to families. And this has to change. And good people in important positions can change that. We saw that with Election Commission. Put TN session on one side and put the current one on the other side. You will see the stark difference. Before TN session, you all know TN session? Before him, elections in India were a joke. Booth capturing, money power, muscle power. Politicians openly buying votes with liquor, with cash, with threats. Then came TN session. Looked at the constitution, looked at his power. He said one thing. I am not here to crawl before politicians. And he acted. He sent paramilitary forces to booths. He cancelled elections where there was violence, seized illegal cash, made candidates declare expenses. One man with spine. That's his story. And look at the current one. Holding on to power. Why? Because his daughter is an IAS officer, wants a premium posting in as a DN somewhere. Son-in-law is a civil servant. He also needs a premium posting. Another daughter is an IRS. Husband is an IAS. All occupying very important positions. E. Sridharan, one man, compare his tenure of Delhi Metro with Mumbai Metro. Any questions, anyone, up until now? Today is a very interesting session. We'll talk a lot. And it is extremely important to talk. Hima?
Good evening, sir. Sir, I hope you saw the email that I had sent you. That I wrote a written application against the Danix, Miss Aarti Agarwal. She did not entertain me on that day. I was asking a very simple question to her about the legality of the OBC certificate. But she behaved very rudely, and I went to her senior. I saw that the senior was supporting her. Maybe that was an environment created to support one another. So from that, I came to know that we need to break this jack. Whenever we are in the services, we also have to break this kind of jack.
Okay. I think I posted about this on YouTube, about your post. So it perhaps gained some visibility. But let me see how else I can help if needed. Ankit?
Sir, like Zoran Mamdani, Prashant Kishore is also giving that progressive idea for people of Bihar. But the exit poll is saying something else. People of Bihar won't choose him, regardless of whatever he has to give. Like even if we have people like Zoran Mamdani or Prashant Kishore who are giving their ideas, yet people still lack that what we say idea or that knowledge to how to choose their representative. Like there are very few people, and those are also in silos. Okay, majority of them they are just as you say WhatsApp mongering zombies. So sir, like in run, it sometimes gets very hopeless when we see that where our country is going.
See, there is always a cycle of this reversal. This will happen. The change will come. I'm very hopeful about that. It may not be immediate, but it will happen. But I agree, we need to fight on real issues. Today, it's a shame that people are spreading memes about this vote chori. It's a serious matter. Leader of the opposition, of the world's largest democracy, he is giving things with facts, with proofs, with sources that certain fake votes were created. It is a matter of grave national concern. In United States, what happened when Trump shouted? American system, it launched 60 court cases. There were recounts. There was a federal audit. All of that was transparent. In France, one candidate's shady funding, it led to immediate judicial inquiry. Mexico, there was a dispute over elections, triggered national-wide televised recounts. Those countries, they did not do whataboutism. They did not laugh it off via creating memes for Twitter. They took action because that's what sane democracies do. Tushant?
Sir, in one of your classes, there was a video of Ambedkar ji that everything boils down to the consciousness of the people. So can we not say that it is the source of the problem that people are not conscious? Because like Mandani, which you are discussing, if if in Bihar today elections are going on, so if we start talking about the core subjects, the core agenda, whatever it is, employment and everything, but still we have seen in the past that people go and vote on basis on caste, and there was a video I was watching where the interviewer, the journalist asked the voter that on what basis are you going to vote? She straightforwardly said that I'm going to vote Tejasvi because he's of my caste. So how can we change that? Because ultimately we are free to at least vote, and so we are going to vote, but the government which is going to come into power, we are not able to ask questions because now we are not that conscious. And second thing, sir, about Rahul Gandhi, that when this is my question, that when the election commission asked him that we are giving you 15 days, this 15 days to bring your agents, and whatever there is a discrepancy, we will cover that. Then why didn't he come on that time? And now he is uh, exploding the hydrogen bomb.
Why is it called hydrogen bomb? That's their own marketing. Okay. I like that second question. I even has a response to that. I think Election Commission of Haryana asked this question, no? That when electoral rolls, when they were created, there was no filing of appeal before the presiding officer. And don't you think that's the reason why it's called as vote chori? When a thief robs your house, don't you think it will take some time to realize what is missing? Wouldn't it take time to gather some proof? Just because there is delay in reporting a robbery, would you say there was no robbery at all? Because you need to be informed immediately. The question is, are deadlines more important than democracy? And it is not Rahul Gandhi. Anurag Thakur also raised aspersions with proof and facts and data in a press conference, a sitting minister from ruling party. Don't you think Election Commission's job is to now investigate it? Bare minimum. Or do you think it's fair that, because there was some delay, therefore no? You are a constitutional body. Your job is to conduct free and fair elections. That's what I think. I mean, I don't think Rahul Gandhi ji is also man of immense vitality. I don't think that's the case with him also. But at this moment, he's asking a simple question. He's giving his proofs. And as citizens of our country, we should ask Election Commission to investigate it. Trust is extremely critical for a functioning democracy. So it is in this context we're meeting today as an Azad Parliament. But now my question is, what could be an Azad Parliament? We know what is Parliament. We know what's the state of Parliament. We know how much it costs in India to make a Parliament. And I tend to think, it's not about marbles and the granite and 20,000 crores. It's about mind. But now I have a different question. What do you think is an Azad Parliament? Because what we have currently, it's not Azad. Azad is free. What we have in Delhi, it's not a parliament, I think. It's a stage. It's a theater. Laws are passed without debate. We saw that. The privacy law. That's one example. A real parliament will not entertain people like Ram Dular Gond or Sunny Deol or Ashok Chavan. A real parliament is a space of courage, space of reasoning. It is a place where disagreements will happen. But disagreements does not mean disloyalty. Disagreements are part of a democracy. And that's what we intend to rebuild with all of you here. Of course, this will not happen brick by brick, but it should happen mind by mind. So today I will take a lot of questions and answers about what is this that we want and how will be the methods like, how will this be beneficial to you. Because in the next few months, of course, you will think, you will analyze, you will lead, you will learn to lead issues with immense sharpness. Something that real parliament has long forgotten. Anirudh, any thoughts, questions?
Hi. So, yes, I mean, of course, the very idea when you renamed this initiative into Azad Parliament, I was thinking, what we can do together. This is the very fact that dialogue has entirely just gone out of the array of normal conversation. Right now, it's just anger that comes out. In fact, any conversation that you have with your friends, your peers, your family, there is a hesitance that, oh my God, I don't want to cross that political line, right? So the very fact that in a place in an environment like this we can talk, that's wonderful, and we need to maybe just everybody just writing blogs on their ideas on what to discuss here and taking it outside. Now another tangent, if I may. We were discussing about one of my peers was talking about we don't have people to choose from and people voting on communal lines. There was a very interesting article that I read probably yesterday in Hindu, and that was talking about how it is even difficult to register yourself to be elected. It was talking about the absolute power that a returning officer has, and they can just reject your application. There was this case I remember in 2019 elections when this comedian, Shamlal Rangila, wanted to contest from Varanasi, and
24,
he was not
not
able to.
19.
24, yeah, sorry, 24, and he was not able to. And it just, increases just the awareness of this fact that people like me and even my friends and family, we don't know the process. What is the process that I can go today and stand for elections? What are the nuances? Why is it difficult? Why is this still there? A bureaucratic red tape around it. And then that is the first step. The second step will be the freedom to choose. So this just random
See, the
thoughts
problem
about.
is with the institutions. Institutions were supposed to be watchdogs, but they're turning into lapdogs. But we'll come to it. We'll discuss all those issues. But one thing I want all of you to learn going forward, and I'll make sure this happens, that you all need to learn separate noise from signal. We need to learn how to replace blind opinions that we read in newspapers with informed reasoning. Now, every episode will not be an episode, should be a parliamentary session. And every new session should be India's unfinished story of freedom. Why? Because freedom is not just political freedom, it's also economic, it's also social. So, our goal going forward will be to debate economics, not as numbers on papers. We can go on to say India overtook Japan, but we need to debate economics as stories of jobs, story of inequality, story of aspirations. Go to any country in the world, go to Europe, go to UAE, go to Singapore, you will not find those ugly hoardings of politicians anywhere. You will not find ugly hoardings of UPSC coaching centers anywhere. SSC, class 10th, IIT. In this parliament, all these sessions, we will discuss technology, it's important, but not as a gadget. But data, privacy, surveillance. We have to master international relations as a chessboard of diplomacy and dependency. My purpose through this is extremely simple. It is to create a new kind of citizen. It is a hard task, but every hard task starts with a dream. Citizens, I think one of you very valid, I think this was Anirudh, I think he said. People should not just vote, they should understand what they're voting for. That's the dream. A dream where citizens, they do not just consume news, but they rather question the structures behind the news. That's where the real power lies. When you're going to an ORF event, ask yourself, why are these spokesperson of the government sitting together? Do we have different voices or not? What's the agenda? Why is this specific book being published? My goal is that whenever you pick up a newspaper, you see a headline in a different way, not like a regular citizen. You will never read a budget the same way again. Whenever you hear a politician speak, you also look at the silences between their words. Pattern is important. Patterns of how power flows, how narratives are built, how data is also distorted. One person I truly admire, Subhash Chandra Bose ji. He created Azad Hind Fauj. When he did that, he did not even have a state. There was no state. Didn't have soldiers that trained in academies. He didn't have the money. But he had a belief. A beautiful belief that ordinary people, if they are united by purpose, they can achieve extraordinary things. And Azad Hind Fauj achieved that. You must understand one thing, that nations, they are not built in buildings. Nations are built in classrooms like these. They're built in debates where they can think. That's the dream. But along with that, I want Azad Parliament to be extremely relevant for all of you present here. Each one of you. And everyone present here, I know, falls into two kind of categories. I'll talk about these two categories. Category one is those who will join civil services in 2026, 27, 28. How many of you fall in that category that you will join civil services? I'm using this word, not planned to join. You will join. No if and but. So for all of you present here, I want to make sure that you give the best attempt of your life in 2026. It is my duty. I will make that happen. We will have those sessions before prelims. We will have those sessions before mains. Not through Azad Parliament, but through different sessions. But for now, I just want you all to promise me that you follow through the episodes on the Misfits portal that you have access to. That is extremely important. That is how your foundations will be sorted across history, across economy, geography, polity. And as in when you go on to read papers, retention will be much easier. Make sure that you have wrapped up at least 50% of your optional subject before January. And that is not difficult. 120 episodes in total, wrap up 60 episodes at least. You have to dedicate 2 hours per day watching PSI or optional episodes. That's it. And make sure that you continue to attend these bi-weekly Azad Parliament classes. Why? Because it is ludicrous today to cram editorials. Because you will forget it. Under the stress and strain of mains and interviews, you will forget those numbers and data. But you will remember these debates. I will make sure that every current affairs, here it becomes a live case study. It is funny to read about environmental laws or foreign relations. You have to step into the roles of policymakers, analysts, and only then you can predict the future. And that's the goal of current affairs. In fact, let me say this thing very bluntly. I've said this in the past also. There is no such thing as current affairs. Nothing is current. Breaking news, all you see is it's nonsense. Everything you see is a sequel to something that has already happened before. Ukraine is not new. Russia invaded Ukraine in the past also. I think when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022, every newsroom screamed, Europe is at war again after 70 years. But it was not new. That war didn't begin in 2022 or 2014. It began when the Soviet Union collapsed. It began when one empire fell, but it never really accepted the defeat. If you remember, I don't think you will remember this, but in 2013, there were massive protests in Kyiv, Ukraine, Maidan movement. Ordinary people, they came out on streets demanding a simple thing, a future with Europe. They wanted certain reforms. Back in those days also, for Russians, free Ukraine is a dangerous idea. So what happened? Just a few months later, masked soldiers, they entered Crimea. They called themselves a local defense unit. Within a week, map changed. Crimea was gone. 8 years later, it was not a surprise that Russia again invades Ukraine. It's a continuation. Same script. Graphics will change, actors will change. Hungary in 1956, Czechoslovakia 68, Ukraine 2022, 2014. We have a lot going on with US-China rivalry, no? How many of you think it's a trade war? US and China. Tariffs, sanctions, shipping containers struck at the ports. Soybean stuck. Steel is stuck. But that's not the matter. Real issue is semiconductors. In 2022, America passed the Chips and Science Act. They were investing $52 billion to bring chip manufacturing back to America. $52 billion. We were spending it somewhere else in India. At that time, Washington realized every smartphone, every missile, every AI model, it runs on silicon. You may say silicon is designed in California, but no, it's made in Taiwan. And that Taiwan sits 100 miles off the coast of China. China has immense interest in Taiwan. Whosoever controls Taiwan and the chips foundries there, TSMC, controls the backbone of modern world today. The war that we have is not a war of soldiers, it's a war of supply chains. Superpowers of 21st century won't be the one with most nuclear weapons. It will be the one with most nanometers. Actors are changing. Concepts remain the same. That's what we want to decipher. We talk about Berlin Wall. Go to Germany, go to Berlin, East Germany, West Germany. Berlin Wall depicts a divided ideology, divided families. Today, China has built a different kind of wall, a digital wall. Great Firewall is what they call. That Great Firewall is stopping ideas from crossing them. Facebook is banned, Twitter is banned, YouTube is banned. It's a different world out there. WeChat, Weibo, Byju, all filtered, monitored. Every message, every post is tracked. Shiva is not wrong. China also tracks immensely. It's not censorship, it's state-engineered narrative control. China is not alone. Russia is doing the same. It has its own sovereign internet law. India is also taking as inspiration data localization. Many countries are now drafting these digital barricades. Some may call it national security. Some may show Pakistan as the enemy. Some may show America as the enemy, but they all are doing it. Do you all know about the sovereign internet in Russia? I think I read a foreign policy magazine article that mentioned it something as digital iron curtain. What is digital iron curtain? What was the original iron curtain? Anyone knows? Iron curtain. Winston Churchill gave a very fascinating speech in the US about iron curtain. Do you know what was Cold War? What's happening to this parliament? You don't know what's Cold War? What's Iron Curtain? Anirudh?
So the Iron Curtain refers to the divide between the Soviet Union and the US in terms of even the exchange of information that was completely blockaded at that time.
Iron Curtain. Look at the metaphor. It's a beautiful metaphor. The original Iron Curtain was a metaphor it was used during the Cold War to describe the sharp divide between the Soviet bloc and the West. Soviet bloc and the West, not Soviet Union and US. It was a barrier, a curtain of different ideologies, influence. Today, that curtain has vanished. Some say that. But I think that curtain has gone online now. Today's countries like Russia and China, they are building something as digital iron curtains. These are a set of laws, technologies, surveillance systems that isolate citizens from global internet. It gives state the unprecedented control over what people see, what do they say, what do they share. Russia passed legislations and laws that requires all traffic, all internet traffic to be routed through state-controlled nodes. They have a federal communications watchdog. It has the ability today to cut Russia off the global internet as and when they want. They use DPIs. Anyone knows what is DPI system? That's deep packet inspection technology. Through DPI, authorities can filter, slow down, or block specific websites. So if there are allegations of vote chori in Russia, you know what they will do? Take a guess. What will they do? Laws in Russia now require foreign companies to show data on Russian servers. They are subjected to domestic surveillance. They can slow down traffic, block specific websites easily, mute certain voices. Russia has their RT News, Sputnik. That's their own version of Godi media. India is also trying softer language, data privacy, national interest, local empowerment. Peel the press releases and you will see a pattern, a very interesting pattern. Anyone? Any thoughts they want to share? This was not planned, but I think you all should know this. Shiva?
Sir, regarding the vote chori scam, so the opposition leader is accusing such massive vote chori which is being done. Then why not take it up with the Supreme Court? Because they have such power, because they are the opposition party, they have ruled for decades, they have connections. Why not file cases in every police station? Why not take it up in such a level that it makes a national news, so that the authorities, even the election commission, is forced to do investigation? Why not do that? Only doing a press conference and leaving it out just in the as a WhatsApp forwarding memes, is it serving the purpose?
Madhuri has a response. Go on.
I have a question actually.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yeah, but I want a response to Shiva. You can't be changing questions. Shiva asked a question, response to it. Only those who have response to it can raise their hands. Shadij?
Sir, I think the opposition is also playing their own political game, so they definitely want the narrative to go their way. So if Supreme Court gives some unfavorable, maybe the decision is right, but is not favorable to the opposition. So whole of the narrative is gone. So they are also thinking politics wise.
Okay. Anirudh, what do you think? Do you think Supreme Court is very fair?
Uh, I mean, about the question that you asked about why Rahul Gandhi is not doing the things as per the EC. From what I remember, and please correct me if I'm wrong, is that there is a 45 period
One
window
second.
where you need to present
Can you repeat
any
it?
discrepancies within the voter list. Yeah, so I'm talking about some laws that state that there's a 45-day window within which you need to point out the discrepancies within the voter list. That's one of the reasons. Second, there is some immunity that the EC members have as of now for any legal proceedings against them. These are the two reasons that I remember why any direct legal action is not required. And more than that, on an ethical stand, isn't it the responsibility of the institution that is guarding the voting mechanism to squash such complaints from the root rather than making it the onus of the person who's raising the question. And again, this responsibility
Okay.
then dives down to the journalist and to us. That
Okay, so next time we can also do this. That, if our kids, if our children, if they die because of a bridge collapse in Bihar, Siwan, Araria, Kishanganj, we'll first go to the court. We will not blame the contractor first. If anyone from a family, if they get harassed on the streets of Delhi, we will be submitting notarized affidavit before police, before they even file an FIR. I spoke about this somewhere that, we are having so many paper leaks. What should our students do? Why isn't Election Commission signing an affidavit that the voter rolls are 100% accurate? It's a job of the Election Commission to ensure that there is trust in the system. Why is Election Commission not signing an oath stating that there is not a single duplicate or fake entry? What's wrong with that? This demand for affidavit, it's not about, it's about intimidation. And it's not just Rahul Gandhi ji. I'm again saying Anurag Thakur also said this in the public. He did a press conference. He showed the anomalies from Election Commission side. As citizens, we should be ashamed. This is what we're discussing. We just have one right to vote. There are video evidences that are being shown. There are paper trails. Now, I think Election Commission has started uploading that scanned data. They don't want to release CCTV footages. And still, we are figuring out ways to justify the good deeds of Election Commission. When Saujanya gets raped, murdered, don't talk to the media. Talk to authorities, but again, who controls those authorities? Citizens, we should now be in a position to see what's right, what's wrong. But great question, Shiva. I appreciate this question. And I don't have an answer. I would want your rational mind to come up with a reasoning. Anyone thinks that colonization is over? Colonization. Because I'm talking about this idea that current affairs is not just current, it's conceptual foundation. Look at Africa today. Africa, it skipped industrial revolution. It jumped into a digital one. I was talking to an African diplomat, and he was telling me what is the backbone of Africa, parts of Africa. China has immense control over Africa today. It's controlling the internet backbone of Africa. Huawei controls the entire 4G infrastructure over there. Google, Facebook, they've laid undersea cables around the continent. Is this new kind of colonization? China and America, US, These are two powers who are now fighting for global dominance in a different way. Earlier, what used to happen with colonizers? They used to extract cotton. Now they are extracting something else. In 1800s, nations, they colonized land for spices, for gold, for cotton. 1900s, that changed. They colonized economies through debts, defense. In 2000s, they were colonizing it for your attention. Now in 2020s, colonizing data. Every time you click, scroll, pause, buy, your action becomes a data point. And those data points are then mined, refined, and traded. Just like the oil back in the days. Google, Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, together they earned more revenues in the GDP of most G20 countries this year. It's not because they produce physical goods, but because they own the behavioral map of our humanity. So if anyone still thinks that current affairs is current, no, it's not the case. Built on foundations, and that's what we're going to decipher for category 1. So category 1 students, if you have any questions about Azad Parliament, I'm happy to address it because I want it to be meaningful for you. Ankit?
Sir, I have question regarding colonization. Sir, but this
We'll
narrative...
do that. We'll have entire debate on that. Don't worry. It was just an example to showcase that.
Okay, sir. I had a view on that. That's why I raised my hand.
We'll have a proper session there.
Okay, sir.
Okay, now the category 2. Anyone who is here who does not want to join civil services. You want to work from outside the system. You want to attend incredible universities, and you want to leave a mark while working in the private sector. Okay, not many. So I will then, okay. See, one thing is clear for category 1 that nothing is current affairs. Those who will write the examination 26, 27, 28, we will make sure that you can easily decipher the noise and substandard analysis of modern day newspapers. We want to ensure that you build in a deeper understanding of GS paper 1, 2, 3, essay ethics. And that is how you will replace the endless newspaper summaries. I will be honest, I don't believe in working hard. I want you all to work smart. There are so many idiots who waste 10 to 14 hours per week reading newspapers, monthly magazines, collecting headlines. So all in the category 1, your goal is to not collect those headlines, but to become collectors of districts, not headlines. So in every episode, every session, we will connect live current issues to your UPSC syllabus. Economics, polity, environment, IR, social justice. I want to replace your hours of passive reading with active understanding. And by the end of every session, you will walk away with clear takeaways that you can instantly use in your GS papers, across papers. So one thing about those with the UPSC thing is that it will be a year-long journey for you. So I want to make Azad Parliament free of cost for all of you. So to all those who have become part of Misfits in 2025, these masterclasses are free. Of course, we have been having deep dive masterclasses in the past. Continue to attend them in a new revised community of Azad Parliament. So if you joined Misfits in July 2025, you can attend these sessions until July 2026. If you joined in February 2025, you can attend it till February 2026. Before your interviews in UPSC, I want to make sure that you're getting a score beyond 200 plus. So there will be some tasks that I may want you to do after your mains are done. You complete that task and you will be given a certification also. That certification is important for your DAF. This certification would be a 1 year based because that's how you will justify your 1 year gap also. So for those who are in category 1, this is extremely important. Clear? Now category 2, raise your hands, who have absolutely zero interest in UPSC. I want to see how many of you fall in that category. Okay. So Rohan, what are your thoughts? How can this be beneficial for you? And where are you from? Introduce yourself to the community.
Hi, sir. I'm Rohan Mukherjee. I'm currently doing my bachelor's degree. I'm from Kolkata and I'm interested in the marketing and management sector. And I also I'm interested in politics and these current affairs. So I want to I'm interested in understanding those decisions better, that how to build a better society through my work journey. And I also want to add this certification to my academics as well.
Of course. So like I said, I want Azad Parliament to be absolutely free of cost. So in future, if you go on to become part of any of our programs, whatever you have paid will be subtracted. But glad to have you. Ankur, how do you think it can benefit you? Because I have my own reasons why it will benefit you.
Yes, sir. So, okay, I did my MBA in 2023. I majored in marketing, then I worked at HDFC Bank for about 16 months. My vertical was a loan against property. It is important to mention because now loan against property, average ticket size loans are at least 2 crore. So I have the MBA and then I have some experience in corporate as well. Why I am here is because all of it was tiring. It's just pretty lies and all of it is pretentious. Everything. I'm not saying everything is pretentious. Again, I'm terming it in black and white, but my experience was in this way. So I wanted to move away from everything. I wanted to do something where I have control, where my results are only caused by my actions. My results are controlled by my actions, and I do not have to deal with people. So I move towards the stock market, and that is what I primarily do right now. Why I am here is because I have lost interest in everything, absolutely everything. My 24 hours, most of the time I do nothing. This is an active practice for me. And this is very important for me because, as you said, sir, in markets, I'm just trying to relate these things. I don't know how, again, I don't know I'm making sense or not, but I'm trying to relate.
It's okay. And also don't worry about what others are thinking. All of you will grow and thrive only when you are making mistakes and nothing is dumb. Okay. So go on with your thoughts. Go on.
Two things. One is you said that you have to understand to separate noise from the real thing. This is of the utmost importance because 99.9% of things, everything is noise, almost everything. And second is nothing ever changes. It never does. Names change, faces change, but it is always the same script that is playing.
Okay.
Why I am here is because I wanted to take some interest in politics, and it is difficult, sir, to be at a place where majority of people, they do not think, they are just on auto mode, and you do not really have anyone to discuss anything about. I wanted to be part of a community where I can talk, people, I don't know if again, my thoughts are not articulated, but I hope I made some sense.
Absolutely. You made a lot of sense. Don't worry. I'm glad to have you. And this is a beautiful community. Today, each one of you present here, it's I will assure you it's a historic moment because I can see this is going to be a huge movement in time to come, and all of you will become flag bearers of this movement. 2029, we will play a very critical role. It starts slow, but momentum will build on from here. Okay. Joe, off to you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah.
So my name is Joe Pranesh, and I am a bachelor's student in mechanical engineering at IIT Dhanbad. So about me, I'm from Chennai. I'm from Tamil Nadu. So the prime reason why I wanted to join the Azad Parliament Fellowship is that it's your reputation as the person who brings in uh, proper arguments or thinks straight through or sees the things that are not easily visible to the eyes. And second would be the reason for myself is it is necessary that I build a mind that could actually think and cut through the noise and look at things as they should be seen.
Okay.
And for me is and another thing is that I want to enter into the nuclear energy sector. Uh, Nuclear energy sector is something that I want to build a career in, and it's necessary for me to understand how policies are made and how politics and how international collaborations are necessary in this field, because this is energy has become a big concern in today's world with raising air pollution and sustainability and a lot of reasons. It's necessary that energy stability is more important, because otherwise we can't, like the luxuries that we have today, like let's say electricity. Even right now I had a power cut for like half an hour and I felt a lot devastated at the moment, and I don't want uh, these luxuries to go away in the future, not just for myself but for the entire world. And I'm somebody who believes in let's say there's this organization called ITER, which is a collaboration set up between European Union, US, China, Japan, South Korea, and so that's a very ideal thing that the world is trying to do in terms to solve the energy crisis. And I somebody believe that international collaboration is necessary simply because one country with one single perspective can't do much in this field. And I think this is pretty much one of the reasons why this is one of the reasons why I also feel that other fields also need to bring more collaborations in this area. And not just in not just in technology, in everything, like even in food. And look at the way we are fighting, having cold wars. And I can understand one thing, that a cold war, a war that's happening in Ukraine has its own effect in India, and we just can't uh, we just can't say, oh no, that's a war that's happening far away, and we can't just uh, remain silent. I'm not going to go into the comments, I'm not going to say whether it's right or wrong, but I'm going to say that there is an effect for sure, and we are also facing that as well. So
Makes perfect sense. Beautiful. Glad to have you in, Joe. And I totally agree with you. It is extremely critical whether you're preparing for your Harvard interviews or working in McKinsey or building products or working in nuclear science. You need to learn how governments, markets, policies, how do they interact. Extremely critical that you develop a policy lens that enhances your analytical, your decision-making depth. And this aspect is valued, whether you're working in consulting, whether you're working in venture capital or product management. Paytm. In February 2024, RBI banned Paytm payments banks from taking deposits. Overnight, millions of users stranded, wallets frozen, settlements were struck. Just imagine you spent 5 years scaling a business. In one circular, your entire user funnel dies. Now, the question is this a policy problem or is it a business problem? It's both. Business world cannot operate in silos. That's why all the businessmen are becoming politicians. Elon Musk. JD Vance is sponsored by whom? Do you know? Former, current VP, Palantir. And look at the stock prices ever since JD Vance became the VP. Peter Thiel is so happy. That is why businessmen are engaged in politics. Bill Gates engaged in politics across the world through his Gates Foundation. Larry Ellison, he's supporting Tony Blair so that he can do all his lobbying across the world. In India today, the biggest risk for investors is not the market, it's the regulator. Regulations are deciding which companies thrive. Cian Agro made more returns than Nvidia. If you want to become a good retail investor, makes a lot of sense to understand politics. Not kidding, seriously. Data localization, some may think it's a policy case. No. Look at how TikTok was banned in India after Galwan. How WhatsApp had to revert its privacy policy under Indian pressure. Or Amazon and Flipkart, how they were grilled by Competition Commission of India over anti-competitive practices. When Delhi Metro, I love this example. When Delhi Metro was built, it finished before deadline and under budget. That's E. Sridharan's legacy. He followed a process of fixed contracts, penalty clauses, empowered teams, incentive structure. Compare that with Mumbai's coastal road project. 2018 it started, 12,000 crores, delayed multiple times, the litigation, tender changes, so on and so forth. What happened? What's the reason why one succeeded, the other failed? It's a good business policy case. Isn't that what you solved when you donned the hat of McKinsey consultant advising the government? There was one more hand. I could not talk to him. Can you re-raise your hand? Category 2. Yeah, Pradeep, after you.
Good evening, sir, and good evening, community. So my name is Pradeep, and I'm from Bangalore. I'm a former UPSC civil service aspirant. I exhausted all my attempts. So, your thoughts, your perspectives that I came across in YouTube, it quite resonated with me, and I shared a lot of things, a lot of perspectives similar to yours. Like while I was preparing, even I had come across a lot of news articles which did not make sense, and those things which baselessly build narratives and all. And even I had analyzed certain things. People thought that I'm crazy. As you know, the Indian judiciary is controlled by around 150 families, and as you told that India is not democracy and oligarchy. Even I shared this kind of thoughts, and even my spouse is a student of yours. She's also preparing for civil services. So I was very stunned, and your thoughts were very enthusiastic and enlightening for me. I just wanted to spend more time, learn more from you, and I don't know where I'll be able to put it to use, but I think it is making a.
No, we will put it to use.
Sure, sir. I don't know. I have not yet decided how to put it to use, but I'm very sure that it is making me a very informed citizen, a better citizen, who is not as you always say, a WhatsApp forwarding zombie, and it feels very good to be alive.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Glad to have you. And I think I read your profile also. I read through your application. You also teach somewhere, right?
Yes, sir. I'm an educator at Insights IAS,
Very nice.
Bengaluru.
Good, good. Glad to have you, Pradeep. And I think there are many who may also go on to do MBAs. MBAs will teach you case studies. But here I want you all to study countries as case studies. You need to analyze why Vietnam became world's factory as China slowed down. Why couldn't India become one? What was a policy design that Vietnam followed that we did not follow? We need to examine why India's manufacturing share has stayed stagnant for almost 30 years now. At the same time, why Bangladesh built a 45 billion textile export industry. We have to see what could India have done differently. We need to study case studies in Kenya, the M-Pesa revolution, for example. Could India do the same with UPI? We have to analyze UPI, ONDC, DigiYatra, Aadhaar, FASTag, India Stack. These should not be buzzwords anymore. We need MBAs who can speak in unit economics and can also talk about constitutional ethics. Talk to any MBA graduate and ask them about your opinion about a startup. They will talk about moat. That tech is one moat. No. Compliance could also be a moat. And I think I liked what I think Ankur said. Russia invades Ukraine. It had effect. It was, I think, Joe who said this. Oil prices shot up. Indian startups linked to fuel saw their inflation. 2023, China restricts graphite exports. Indian EV makers will see the consequences. Geopolitics will always enter your P&L. And we need to understand that. We have to connect dots between Taiwan's chips, Delhi's pollution, and Silicon Valley's layoffs. Smartest entrepreneurs are always smartest policy leaders. Of course, those who are joining in from a non-UPSC route, you will be here with us for 3 months, and 3 months would be perfect. It will be magical for you. But I'm little both concerned and impressed by one question that I think one person said, that we do not know what to do with this knowledge. Anyone has any thoughts, any ideas? What can we do with it? Raise your hands for that. That's a new question. Ankit?
Sir, sir, I guess we need propaganda and mass movement for this to encourage reasoning and critical thinking among diaspora, and to really call out their implicit biases, and on top of that all, we really need to get out of our fear. Like, most of us are in fear, and that's why they don't participate in accounting someone or working as a whistleblower. So that's what I think we need.
Okay. Lavisha, what do you think? Any thoughts on why not run for elections immediately? Let's be that change maker.
But I feel that if I don't know economically what I can do right now with this knowledge, but like after our classes in college when it get over, and since we sit over Nescafe and I discuss with my friends and they bring up certain topic. So even if I'm not into my mind ki what I learned in my Naman sir's master classes, I have to speak according to that. It comes automatically, like in my arguments that I put forward in front of them on any topic. So it's not like we have pre-decided where to use it, but whenever in conversations you substantiate your points, you like let's say we discuss certain case study and I tell them, they're like, oh, this model can be implemented here also. So it becomes very interesting when we discuss it.
Okay, great. Nitesh, after you.
Good evening, everyone.
Did you get your
So,
interview score for UPSC interviews?
yeah, marks I got, I was among the highest, 110 it was, out of 150 for
Okay.
CAPF. So
Then how many marks did you miss it by?
if I would have scored more 10, then I would
Okay.
gain. But it was good attempts. I mean, because of that only I'm
But good
satisfied,
score for
and
the
I
interview.
thought 110.
That's a good number. Good.
Good. So coming to your question, that how to utilize that knowledge. So I will say three things on it. That what Michael Foucault has quipped, knowledge is power. So it will become power when we will get into a structural position, and now what we are aspiring for, and that will give us edge, means to utilize that knowledge. But on the other side, we are using the knowledge in everyday life, means to analyze something or to make narratives, discuss with our friends, colleagues, teachers, whatever, wherever we are finding the opportunity, we are using that knowledge.
Okay, good. I think because the session is getting lengthier, I want to close this. But again, many, many years ago, a brilliant politician, philosopher, lawyer, social change maker, he said a very interesting thing. Educate, agitate, organize. Ambedkar ji. Why did he say that? Perhaps he lived through the exact machine that we are fighting today. We all know of Mahad Satyagraha. Anyone heard of it? Mahad Satyagraha. No one heard of it? We all know of Gandhiji Satyagraha, but Mahad Satyagraha. I've not heard of it. Nitesh?
It's organized by the Ambedkar ji in 1920s.
Yeah. What was it all about? 1927, Ambedkar ji stood at Mahad, led the Satyagraha to drink from a public tank. Was it because he was thirsty? It was because a society that can deny you water can deny you everything. It can deny you school, work, dignity, future. He did not march to the pond, he marched to principle. Public resources cannot be gated by birth. Pause and think about this. Almost 100 years later, those tanks have changed. I was reading one of the newspaper reports, I think not newspaper, I think Yojana article. Widow's pension is stopped because her thumbprint does not match. That's a new age untouchability. When a poor farmer's ration is denied because server is down. That's a modern version of same discrimination that Ambedkar ji fought against in Mahad. Do you think Ambani's and Adani's, they stand in line like us for a visa? The world is different for them. That's why today I want every Azad parliamentarian to begin with education. And education is not about degrees. Degrees are useless, we know that. Education is about clarity. It is about understanding how things work. Education, it's not about memorization. We have to educate ourselves about the world around us, about how a law is drafted, how a policy is passed, how a budget is built, how a welfare scheme actually reaches or fails to reach a village. Because only and only when we see that wiring behind the wall, we can then fix the fault in the circuit. To see the wiring. But for that, we need to understand the wiring behind the wall. And once that is understood, we move to a next stage called agitate. Agitation is not screaming. Ambedkarji never shouted. He submitted memorandums. He drafted bills. He argued with facts. Education is followed by agitation, and agitation is not that chaos. It means learning to question with precision, speaking the truth with facts. In time to come, hopefully, we will send in representation. You may fight procedurally. In our schools, we may fight. In our colleges, we may fight. We may ask our representatives why the street light is not working. Who is the contractor? When was this tender issued? What's the service level agreement? That's agitation. But to agitate effectively, we need to educate ourselves. Because uninformed outrage, it will help no one. And once we have educated ourselves, agitated with conscience, then comes the third act of organize. We're not there yet. That stage will also come. And when that comes, we will be ready. Okay? Any questions, anyone of any kind? So in terms of, I think those who are part of the core Azad Parliament Fellowship, you will have access to a WhatsApp channel. Others, don't stress. You will attend it the way you're attending it today. But in time to come, it will grow. So I'm glad to see these faces. I look forward to learning more about you, your journey, your story. And we are going to learn a lot of things, grow in this journey, and also do good while doing good. Devendra?
Hello, sir. I belong to Rajasthan, one of the tier 3 city in the Rajasthan. So I just
Which city?
I mean, when you Udaipur city.
Such a wonderful city. Kshitij is also from Udaipur, right? Kshitij is also from Udaipur. Okay, go on.
Okay, so I just when you asked about the two categories of the guys, that one who are preparing for the UPSC and the other ones who are just doing their other stuff. So I wasn't sure which one should I be putting myself into, but yeah, I'm having a software engineer job as well as I'm also preparing for the state PCS. So the very reason I wanted to join this Azad Parliament was that when I saw your videos 6 months ago, so I wanted to be the kind of the person who actually should be questioning that why the things they are going the way they are going. Is there any better way to do them? So I mean, I used to be the guy who didn't even know that what is the capital of Sri Lanka. I mean, these were the things, but from your sessions, I've learned a lot. I've tried to question the things. I've tried to understand the things that it's not just the BJP or Congress only. It has to be the someone who is asking the question on the behalf of the India as well. So I'm someone who is uh, going to get into the role of the state PCS, which is how I started my journey of the preparation in the last few months. And that's why, I mean, by looking at you, the way you say it, important people at the important positions are important. So that's what has become my inspiration. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting from this whole sessions. Just to be a better person, just try to connecting the things what I'm studying on the daily basis to what's going on or what's about to happen and what has already been happened. So like it's I mean, instead of me trying to get that how would I do that, I will also be looking forward that that how things will make sense to me. So I believe I could pretty much make this sense.
Glad to have you in this community, Devendra, and all the very best. And look forward to seeing you participate. Okay. That's it. If anyone has any question, raise your hand and please have your videos on. Ankit.
Yeah, hi sir. Hi everyone. I joined a little bit late, so I don't know whether we discussed this or not. So Mamdani's victory in the New York mayoral elections.
Just give me a minute.
Do you,
1 minute.
Yeah.
Because this will take a lot of time to answer. Just give me a minute. Yes. Ankit, go on.
Yes, sir. So I was thinking that whether Mamdani's victory in the recent New York mayoral elections, could it, is the US politics now poised to take a socialist turn that it took in 1920s, or I think 30s maybe, during the time of Franklin D. Roosevelt, because he ushered in an era which was heavily socialist or in stark opposition to what
it's a good
US
question.
is usually. Yeah.
I can see a trend where it's going. First and foremost, I think I have taught you all, at least in the optional classes, the realities of socialism, communism, liberalism. We have discussed and debated what is capitalism. And I can give you in writing on an affidavit that Rahul Gandhi is not giving, that there's not a single country in the world that is following the principles of socialism or capitalism or communism or any kind. Okay? Many fools, many idiots, they get buffooned by all this nonsense. As long as you're focusing on agendas, real world, real lives, real issues, you have my support. We can create ideologies of any kind with anyone. Samajwad, the party, names, in the name itself, there is Samajwad. When they were leading and ruling over UP, do you really see? Was that Samajwad? Was that socialism? America is the what? Is the epitome of capitalism. But in many aspects, much more socialist than India. In India, we have crony capitalism, despite the fact we have socialist written in our preamble. China, communist state. So don't get fooled by these terms and ideologies. Left wing, right wing, socialism, capitalism, communism. Understand those things. But good question. We'll of course discuss other aspects of his victory. Jyotsna?
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. So it's just a guidance-related question. Since you discussed about Ambedkarji's idea of education, agitation, and organizing, I have been kind of offered a lot of role to play in Student Federation of India, and I have
Which
been
federation?
Student Federation of India, SFI.
Okay.
And I have been kind of saying no to them because of my UPSC preparation. And today's class again kind of ignited that will of mine where I want to do something about things that are happening right now and rather just wait that someday I'm going to clear my exam. So again, do you think that I should kind of get involved in all of this while I'm preparing for my UPSC, because all these classes, I mean, I've said it earlier also, all these classes have helped me improve my personality as a person who has thoughts. I've improved the way I put my thoughts out now. So yes, I think I can kind of help those people as well. But I really don't know if I should be doing all of that right now while I'm preparing for my UPSC.
Okay. Good question. My answer would be controversial, and please take it with a huge grain of salt. My advice would be to ensure that you crack the examination next year. It is very much possible. You missed it by a few marks. You start preparation late. This is a phase in our lives when we need to educate ourselves. Okay. And of course, we will get into all that stuff at a later stage, not at the moment. So my advice would be do whatever is needed to crack the examination. Focus on optional, focus on GS, be regular with current affairs. That's it. Okay. Also, before I forget, the next masterclass will take place 2 weeks from now. That's the scenario. But there will be a little exception. We will have a session little early on next time. And we'll inform you of the time on the WhatsApp group. Ananya, off to you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. I just wanted to express something regarding today's session. There's a sense of unshaken devotion after hearing about the initiative. I rather say responsibility. So I just felt the need to express that to you and everybody around that, yeah, pretty much ready for it.
Okay, thank you so much. And look forward to working with all of you. And yeah, thank you. Where are you from, Ananya?
I am currently residing in Ghaziabad.
Okay. How is the air quality currently in Ghaziabad?
So it's again, according to those reports, it's on the third ranker of the most polluted cities. So it's
Wow.
really bad. It's really, really bad. Worse than Delhi, I would say. This is what I feel.
They're not using water tankers?
No.
Okay. All right, great. That's it. I think thank you so much to all of you who joined in. I wish you all the very best. Good luck. Take care. And if you have any questions, concerns, doubts of any kind, you can reach out to a wonderful teammate. Where is she? Anantata. You can also introduce yourself. Anantata. Go on.
Hello everybody, I am Ananda Paista, and I've recently joined the team, the Misfits team. So if you have any queries and questions, you can reach out to me. I'm also a fellow civil services
And do share your email address.
Right. So the email address is teampost.org.
team@postfellowship.org. Okay. All right. Good luck, everyone. Take care and enjoy the day and be very kind to Anandita. It may take some time for her to get back to your requests, but be very kind to her. Yeah, good luck. Take care.